Okay, so I'm a new content creator, so I'm reading up on several things I can do to improve and grow my audience. And I came across one article by vidIQ, which I'll be linking in the description of this video, in case you're one of the few of us who actually like to read. Now this article is talking about how to grow your subscriber count on YouTube in specific. So if you're watching this video on TikTok, you're in the right spot if you want to grow your subscribers on YouTube. In the wrong spot if you want to increase your subscribers on TikTok. Anyways, the total of this article is 13 ways to get 1,000 YouTube subscribers, fast and free. It's by Lydia Sweet, so shout out to her. Also, I'm going to be calling Lydia Sweet by her first name Lydia, because I'm unsure how to pronounce her last name. I'm assuming it's Sweet, but I'm unsure, and I have a fear of getting last names wrong. Anyways, I'm going to be reviewing her article in this video. Essentially, I'm just going to be telling you my experience with said advice she's giving, or whether or not I've done it already. Or in other words, what I'm going to be doing is giving you guys my pure stream of consciousness I had while reading this article, my thoughts on what Lydia has to offer. So let's get started. Now this article starts out with a typical introduction to a lot of these articles, which is you want people to watch your videos and subscribe to you. Here's how in these quick easy steps with like a cool emoji next to it. But first I want to point out something that's really good to emphasize in these articles, and she does it in the intro, in that you should never have to buy 1,000 YouTube subscribers, which is a really solid piece of advice I can get behind, because YouTube is not a pay-to-win game you can do. Instead, it's something that's your passion. You should really work on growing and not buying the work off of some shady third-party website. Anyways, that's a side tangent, back to the article. So the first step Lydia starts out with here is to break your goal of 1,000 subscribers into small little chunks, where she gives the example of giving yourself the small goal of, let's say, 100 subscribers every few months, like 100 subscribers by June, 200 subscribers by October, things like that. She says these smaller goals work because they're more realistic and less scary, and overall more encouraging. Honestly, I have to wholeheartedly agree with Lydia on this piece of advice, because it is truly less scary to have small goals like this. I also feel like it's worth pointing out, and Lydia here did point it out, that small goals are not overwhelming. And as someone who's neurodivergent, having goals that aren't overwhelming is very important too. Make sure you don't get burned out. For me personally, since I'm just starting out, I have 2 small goals. First one being post once a day. That's it for posting. I'm just focusing on posting something. Anything really, even if it's a 7-second long video. Because I'm going to be starting college soon, so if I already have a consistent video routine with videos, even if it's just once a day, it will be easier to stick with it. As for a subscribers goal, I have the goal to reach 100 to 300 subscribers or more by January 2026. Why this time? Because this is when I'll be finishing up my prerequisites for college, and I can't apply for the pharmacy technician portion of my college until February 16th of 2026. So I'm hoping that during the time I'm going to have off until I get accepted into the pharmacy technician program, I can focus on growing my YouTube channel more. But speaking from experience, these small goals give you hope, something to work towards, something to look forward to while you do other things in life. Because let's be honest, YouTube does not start paying you right away. You gotta work for the right to be paid to. Do this. Now I want to briefly mention Lydia is correct for putting small goals as number one on this list, as it's the most important thing in content creation, as small goals are what will keep you going in the long run as you slowly but surely build your audience. Now the second goal Lydia has set out for us is to create videos for one specific target audience. She stresses to focus on one target audience when chasing that subscriber goal of 1,000 on YouTube, and that when honing in a specific niche, it allows you to craft content that will deeply resonate with like-minded viewers. So essentially what you need to do as a content creator, especially as a new one, is pick something you're passionate about preferably and go with that to use as a theme of your YouTube channel. For example, I chose horror-themed stories as my theme. I also do other life experiences story times. I create these videos because I love telling stories, because I'm lonely and don't have friends. But whatever, that's besides the point. Now I'm not sure how many views videos like that get, but at least I'm passionate and happy making videos like this. However, if you want to choose a niche that generally makes more views, Lydia lists a few niches you can choose from. Now she calls these high-stakes niches. These are health, personal, finance, or educational niches. These attract more viewers because they can address urgent important issues. To quote Lydia here, now this is a direct quote, "These topics have a higher likelihood of retaining viewers because they seek solutions and valuable information." Now when you find a niche, you'll want to take a broad category like health. You'll want to pick a niche within a niche, such as healthy recipes that taste out of this world, which will help you to stand out as a creator and help you gain more subscribers on YouTube. Moving on to the third way to gain more subscribers on YouTube as a platform, as Lydia puts it, is to create the most popular kinds of content. She mentions that doing so will help you to connect with your viewers. And apparently there's for different types of videos that never go out of style, which are reaction videos, how-to videos, versus and listicle videos, whatever the heck listicle videos are. I'm not sure. Anyways, I think the video I'm doing now is either an informational one or like a reaction video. I'm not sure. Anyways, Lydia delves into more about what some of these popular types of videos are. Essentially, reaction videos are just someone reacting to funny or dramatic events. And apparently the reason why people love seeing these types of videos is because there's just something about seeing someone react live to a recent dramatic or funny event, which is fair. I do watch a lot of reaction videos myself. Another one is versus videos. Apparently this is just taking a topic and debating it, such as debating whether or not a Samsung Galaxy is better, or whether or not the newest iPhone is better, or if cats are better or dogs are better. Things like that, which honestly that's just not my style. On the other hand, how-to videos are popular because people never stop asking questions. And it could be the dumbest how-to video you could think of, like how to press a button on a microwave, but I guarantee you, someone has asked that question. Even if it's just someone with dementia, that's still someone who's asked that question. And now you guys remember when I asked what the frick frackety coolug was a listicle video. Well, apparently that's just a video that has a list of things in it. Like, you know, those 7 scary fish in the deep ocean videos you see on YouTube. Apparently that's a listicle video. I had no idea those videos had a name, man. Now you could do as Lydia suggests here with popular videos, Or you could just freeball it and ignore this advice and do a video just because you want to do the video and you're passionate about it. So this advice you could really go either way with. You just could do the popular videos, or just do something you're passionate about whether or not it's popular. Personally, I'd recommend just doing the videos you're passionate about, because I feel like you're going to get more enjoyment out of doing YouTube that way. Honestly, for me at least, I'm not looking at YouTube as something I want to make only money off of, but as something I'm passionate about doing, and money is just like a bonus. Like if I make money, I make money. If I don't, I don't. It's all good. Now the fourth way you can reach 1,000 subscribers according to Lydia is that you should take keywords, thumbnails, and video titles seriously. In this subheading, Lydia talks about how you'll need custom thumbnails, relevant keywords, and engaging video titles. Now, just from that sentence alone, I feel like this is something I've already failed at. But anyways, we delve into this head first. Right, guys, right, please save me. Anyways, let's go. Now, apparently visibility is everything on the platform that is YouTube. Thus, guess what, guys? If the content does not show up into very important places, which are the list of videos that come up when you search a topic, or in the recommended videos, your video does not exist. Yes, that's right. Videos might as well not exist if they are not discoverable. So I guess we have to make videos like this one discoverable. But how can you do that? Well, apparently there's 4 ways you can do that. First is apparently using the right keywords in your videos, such as in your title, description, and tags. Now, Lydia, I can tell you right now I'm not doing this really. Like right now, as of the writing of the script of this video, I have a video that's scheduled for some later point that is not today. That's titled. I'm not sure what the title is. I think it should have been posted already by the time you guys have seen this video. So please go check out that video, guys. I'd really appreciate it. It's just a goofy little filter video I made with Snapchat. However, guys, it appears I've already failed at content creation. So do not do what I've done, please. Thank you. Next up is leverage YouTube's metadata. What, bro? Metadata? You have to leverage metadata now. That sounds weird, scary, and complicated if you're anything like me. Don't worry though. This is just captions, playlists, and file name uploads. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't even name my files for videos. I just leave it as whatever CapCut or iMovie decides is the perfect name for it, which is my movie. MOV, or a file name in it that has a bunch of numbers in it. So I've already failed at utilizing that bit of metadata. So maybe I shall learn how to rename my video files on my iPad, which is where I'm editing my videos on and where I post all of my videos from, because I don't have a laptop or a desktop, so that's fun. As for playlists, I need to get on that. I need to create a few of those. As of writing the script, I have not made up a playlist on YouTube. But if I have by the time this video posts, go check those out. So apparently I have been lacking on playlist making. I do captions though, so that's a step in the right direction at least. So if you're thinking about making videos, make sure to leverage YouTube's metadata from the start, because this is actually a good idea. Step 3 apparently is to be strategic with your niche. So like me, my general broad term niche is storytelling. However, my niche of storytelling is horror stories that I've written and am putting into audiobooks for you. I'm also doing general life experience videos for you, where I tell you about things that have happened to me. So do your best to do something like that. It's very worth it, I promise. So Lydia, this is very important. Thank you for listing this here in your article. The next thing Lydia talks about is posting constantly, which is very important as we all know, because the algorithm sees the channel you've created as active and worth promoting. Now for me at least, I'm able to post daily. If possible, you should do that. However, if not possible, you should shoot for at least weekly or once a month. Do something that's obtainable for you. But this is something you should seriously consider when you are thinking about making a career out of YouTube like I am. Now the next thing Lydia talks about is creating a thumbnail, specifically one that will spark curiosity. That's because the thumbnail is somebody's first impression that stops them from scrolling. And if you have a strong thumbnail, according to Lydia, it's what will skyrocket your click-through rate. It apparently directly impacts your subscriber count. So Lydia, how do we craft thumbnails exactly? Well, thankfully Lydia explains how we can do this, which is good for me, and likely you if you're anything like me. I personally suck at thumbnails. So I'm most assuredly going to need whatever step-by-step process Lydia is selling here in order to make a good thumbnail. Now guys, editor's note, I forgot to add Lydia's step-by-step program on how to craft the perfect thumbnail when I was reading over my script for this video. I just skipped right over the titles. I'm almost tempted to leave it that way, but that's no fun. So let's go through Lydia's crafting the perfect thumbnail program together. The first step she lists here is to design the thumbnail with intention, or essentially use bold fonts, contrasting colors, and expressive faces. Also make sure the thumbnail is readable on something like a phone screen. Now usually the best thing to do when trying to craft a thumbnail like this is to take inspiration from creators you love and look up to, such as Van Bringer is really good at crafting thumbnails. Another one who's great at creating some amazing thumbnails is a creator called The Click. I honestly love his videos and click on them often, and it's mostly due to his thumbnails. And he literally just does our /Reddit thread videos. Next step is to create visual tension. Now, what exactly is that? Well, Lydia explains what that is exactly. She mentions it's essentially creating curiosity in the viewer. How do we do that according to Lydia? Well, essentially Lydia here mentions we essentially need to create questions, like if there's something unexpected happening in this video, or is there an emotion or mystery being teased here? Now, depending on what context we're being teased in, that can be very enjoyable if you know what I mean. But who doesn't love a good mystery? So this is actually good advice because curiosity is a real coup. Emotion. And if you've never felt curious in your entire life, you're missing out. For example, I was recently intrigued and curious about polo when watching the movie Red, White, and Royal Blue. And I thought polo was not played on horseback. Instead, I thought you played it like you do cricket. In fact, I'm pretty sure I thought cricket and polo were the same thing. So it's this type of curiosity you need to inspire with your thumbnail. Editor's side note, I totally wasn't watching Red, White, and Royal Blue while writing the script. You can prove nothing. I can only really watch movies while doing something else, and I get bored writing scripts if I'm not watching something, so this works out great. The next thing we need to do according to Lydia when making the perfect thumbnail is to avoid clutter, because too much equals confusion, while simplicity makes you want to actually click on the video. probably noticed this when you click on videos that the simpler the thumbnail, the more views it has. And it's often the simpler videos that can compel you as a viewer to click on a video. So honestly, solid advice, to be fair. So good job, Lydia. Now the next step to craft the perfect thumbnail, according to Lydia, is to stay consistent with your style. Because apparently this allows people to recognize you visually. And to be honest, we probably do this subconsciously, but you get used to a favorite creator and their brand familiarly, and will increase repeat viewers and subscriptions apparently, which is honestly not a bad ploy, because if you're autistic like me, you crave familiarity. Also, we as humans crave familiarity anyhow, even if we're not neurodivergent, so go out there, create your thumbnail brand. Now the final step from making the perfect thumbnail, according to Lydia, is to use YouTube's /B testing for thumbnails. Now I'm not sure if this only applies to only long form content or if it applies to YouTube Shorts. However, this is good because it allows you to test to see if a thumbnail will work, which trial and error is always a good thing because it's difficult to make the perfect thumbnail. So it's better to test these things out. Next, subtitles. Apparently, according to Lydia, we need to reel people in with every word. And that title needs to be the hook that convinces a person to click. So apparently we need 3 things to have a good compelling title, according to Lydia here. Those are clarity, intrigue, and emotional pull. Having a good title is apparently something that can turn a casual viewer into something we call a loyal subscriber, which is what we want here, folks. Chances are if you're watching this video, you want more subscribers, so make sure to title your videos good. So we just have to remember those 3 things of clarity, intrigue, and emotional pull. Now, emotional pull is not something I'm great at, but we're gonna try. And apparently there's 5 steps on how we can create the perfect title, according to Lydia. The first step is to lead with value. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that with storytime content, but with this video it's going to be how to get 1,000 subscribers, so I guess that's value. I don't know, man, but I guess if we're doing storytime content, it's going to have to be an intriguing enough title to where people cannot live without listening to this story. The next step here is to apparently spark curiosity without clickbait. Now there's a very important reason Lydia lists for this, and it's if the content does not match the title. Guess what happens? You lose the trust of the viewers and potential subscribers. So make the title match. The theme of the video is the summarization of that. Also with storytime content, this isn't a problem because, well, the title is going to match the theme of the video and what we are talking about in said video. Now the third step here is to use powerful trigger words, according to Lydia, which are apparently things like how to, secret, worst, best, and beginner friendly. Now Lydia says these are important because they will stand out and often align with user intent. Now with this video, that's no problem because I have in the title literally a how to at the beginning of it. Not sure how I'm going to incorporate this into the horror story titles I've written, but I figured I'll just fly by the seat of my pants with this one. Apparently titles are hard with story time content. Guys, keep that in mind if you ever want to go into that genre of YouTube videos. Next up with the titles thing, according to Lydia, keep the titles concise, which is really important because I know for myself I did not feel like reading a long title, and I'm not going to click on a video if you have some long ass title to it. Also, apparently Lydia points out that it is preferred to keep the title under 60 characters as well, so that smaller devices don't have the title cut off. It's also worth noting that YouTube has a 100 character title limit, so sticking under 60 characters is a good idea anyhow, just to make sure all devices can see your title. Now the fifth and final step for a good title, according to Lydia, is to combine your title with Stro and thumbnails. So you want to use these as a tag team, and they should complement each other at least. That's the advice Lydia gives. And to be fair, this is good advice because as a user of YouTube and a creator, the videos I get views on are the ones that have this combo as a tag team. Like my Resident Evil short that I did from a Twitch stream one of my friends did. That got 1.2k views the last time I checked. So for a small creator, that video did really well. On the user end of it, it's really important too because I only click on videos that have it enters Ting thumbnail and title. Now typically I do this subconsciously, but it's still important to speak to your viewers subconscious. Now that we have talked about thumbnails, titles, and keywords, we get to move on to the fifth way to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is, according to Lydia here, is to create videos that deliver on their promise. Apparently one thing I learned from this article is that every YouTube video makes a subtle promise. I did not know that. How you form that promise, according to Lydia, is that the title tells you what to expect from the video. Then the thumbnail forms some sort of witchcraft and gives the viewer an emotional snapshot of the story. Witchcraft, I tell you, witchcraft. Okay, the next way YouTube makes a promise is that the video description supports the title and thumbnail. Now these three things, according to Lydia, that give the viewers an expectation, which makes sense as when you watch anything, whether it's a movie, a TV show, or a YouTube video, you have a certain expectation of what it is. So essentially, do not let your viewers down by not living up to the video's expectation, which is going to be hard for me to do because I'm already a disappointment to my parents. Because according to my parents, I'm a loser on the internet trying to make videos who has no friends and requires likes and views for dopamine. So that sucks, but oh well, if I can be a disappointment to my parents, maybe I can brighten the days of my viewers. Anyways, enough about that. The next step to reach 1,000 subscribers, according to Lydia, it's to identify which videos you've posted attracted the most subscribers. You can do that by going to the YouTube studio and going to the subscribers gain portion of the YouTube studio. For me, it's the Resident Evil Twitch clip I made. However, I don't plan to use that as a guide to fame, because I don't want to make Twitch clips forever, but for every once in a while it's good. I mean, I have only 2 subscribers, who knows what will happen in the future, and which video will end up drawing the most viewers and subscribers. It could be this video, for all I know, which I don't mind making this type of content, but it's not my passion, you know. It'd really be karma though if this would skyrocketed off into the stars. But anyways, use whatever your most popular video is that draws in views and subscribers and use it as a guide for future content, which is great advice from Lydia. Now the 7th way to reach the 1,000 subscriber goal on YouTube, according to Lydia here, is to do a YouTube collab to reach new viewers. So you know this is great, and I've found a lot of my favorite YouTubers through collabs. Though one thing is, this is great if you are an extrovert. However, I am very much not an extrovert. I do not leave the house, man. I'm the most introverted of introverts. I barely see the sunlight. I don't see no one. I don't talk to anybody. Because remember, I don't have friends. Help me. I'm lonely. Anyways, if you're an introvert like me, instead of reaching out to other YouTubers to do collabs, wait until someone reaches out to you. And then say no, but make a video about them reaching out to you to do a collab. There's an alternative to this, and you can actually accept the collab. That is if you think the person who is reaching out to collab with you is cool, but only then. It's typically worth it to be social for a few hours and then go back to your introverted hole and recover for 3 to 5 business days. Like for me, I know there's several who I would collab with if they reached out. Because I want to, I'm going to list off the people I want to collab with. They are as follows. Corpse Husband, now I know he stepped away from the spotlight, but if he wants to collab with me, I'd be happy to do it with him. Merv the Cat, Ryan Kelly, Sad Spice, because Sad Spice is really cool and I'd love to do a video with her. Next one is Fwelnuv, Pars Live, Tucker Lindgren, who's also known as Big Tug, and other one is Cameraman YT, Rufa because Rufa is hilarious, Johnny Razor, Kyrio Cypher, Vantac Bringer, Call Me Chris, Kindred Spirit, Markiplier, Renzato, B, Dylan Hollis, Jimmy Robbins, The Click, Lixian TV, One Topic. There's also this guy on TikTok that streams sometimes, and he has a little thing on it that says I'm not Corpse Husband, but he sounds a lot like Corpse Husband, so I think it would be cool to collab with him regardless. But I can't find his username on TikTok, so if that guy knows who he is, please reach out to me. I'd love to do a collab with you. Now I could have sworn I followed you on TikTok, but I can't find you. Now off to the 8th way to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube according to Lydia. This one is an introvert stream that is promoting your content. You can do this without interacting with people, or at least not interacting with people in person, so yay for that. Essentially, it's by making playlists and sharing that you posted a new video on social media, like Instagram. There's also for more things you can do to promote your videos, which is to add YouTube cards and end screens to promote other videos. Another thing is to comment on other YouTube videos. Don't promote your content in the comments section because that just makes you an asshole. But just be like you love your videos, or just engage with other people's content like a normal person. And you will be fine, trust me. And sometimes people click on your profile if they like your comment. Or at least I do that, but maybe I'm strange. Next is to host YouTube Live streams, which Live streams feel like an introvert's nightmare, but maybe it's fine. I would have to ask a person I know who does Live streams and who is also a streamer. Actually, his username is Rejax50, so go check out his Live streams. Please, he'd appreciate it. Anyways, back to the topic. So the next step Lydia lists here is to add hashtags to your videos, which is great because then your video pops up in the proper space. These next few steps don't really need much expansion on them, so I'm going to skim over them. One is to use related links on shorts, which apparently can help you get more subscribers, which I think is cool. I'm skeptical if this works because I personally never click links on YouTube, but it could work. The next one is to add a subscribe button in your videos. This one I haven't seen in a while, but honestly I love clickable buttons. So it's worth a try because I'm very autistic, so little buttons like this are autistic heaven. And God knows you're likely to have some autistic people in your audience. So put a little button in your videos for them to click. Now that's all we have for those 2 steps, and we get to move on to number 11, which is to place the subscribe link in the description of your video. According to Lydia, I'm not sure this will be very effective, as I don't click links in YouTube descriptions, but we'll look up the links so it may be effective, or it might not. Complete at your own risk. Now I want to make sure you guys know with YouTube's new regulation, you have to add your government ID or biometrics to add links into the description of a video. So you could only do this now if you're willing to add your face to YouTube or government ID to YouTube. But if you do go for this option, please just make sure you're not providing a link to a virus. You should be good. Now this 12th one should be self-evident. I think we talked about this earlier as well. But according to Lydia, the 12th way to get 100 subscribers is to never stop posting new videos. You need to not only be posting regularly, but have a good schedule to do so like mentioned before. But you need to continue crafting good original content often, and then stick to that regular posting schedule. Also, what I mean by original content is by putting your own unique spin on topics, because no one thinks quite like you do, and put your own unique style into those videos. Now it's okay if you don't quite know what that is yet, but that's what experimentation is for. Now we can move on to the final way to gain 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now this would be the 13th way to get subscribers according to Lydia. That's to simply ask viewers to subscribe to your channel. And you know that generally makes me nervous to do that, but I guess, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Like no pressure to, but I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. And if you're nervous to ask people to subscribe, you're in good company, but just go ahead and do it. I believe you can do it, because if I can do it, you can do it. Now that does it for the 13 steps Lydia provided to get yourself to 1,000 subscribers. Honestly, I think a lot of her advice is sure to help get you to 1,000 subscribers. I'm excited to try some of them out myself. I kind of made this video to help me memorize the ways you can increase your subscriber count on YouTube, because maybe if I write it down and read it and listen to it while I'm editing this video, maybe it can get put into my head. This is a side note, but I just wanted to point this out. But Lydia in her article had 13 ways to get yourself 1,000 subscribers. I thought that fit perfectly into the horror theme of my channel, because there's people who believe the number 13 to be unlucky. And some people even fear the number 13, which I find fascinating. So her article plus my generally horror-themed channel seems to fit quite well. Now I'm still working on an outro to videos, especially videos like this one. But I guess this is the perfect video to try this out on. So Nova Luca Loco out. Let's reach for the stars, guys, together. God, that was cringy. We're going with another outro. We're trying this again. Let's go be spooky, guys. No, no, no. That's not it. How about Nova Luca Loco out? Hit it, guys. And by hit it, I mean that subscribe button by witches. Now that's a proper outro. We're going to go with that one for a while. Now this outro isn't going to be for shorts, but for my longer form content like this. For my shorts, it's going to be 1-minute parts of my longer form content on YouTube. So let's hope we can grow a community here and hopefully this video will help you grow your community as well. Actually, you know what, I lied. I hate that outro. That's a horrible outro I just wrote. We're going with different one. We're going with Nova Luca Loco out, passing on through Dublin now. That's it, I like that. Now for an intro, which is going to be welcome to Dublin. I hope you enjoy your stay here. My name's Nova Luca Loco. Now that does it for this video, so I guess Nova Luca Loco out, passing on through Dublin now.